This is the Servola briefing. Here are the biggest enterprise tech stories from the last 24 hours. Let's get into it. First, $1 billion of power capacity changed hands in silence. An FTC clearance and a shareholder filing show Elon Musk acquired new APR Energy's mobile generation fleet back in May. The seller's $50.4 million share of the proceeds implies a transaction above $1 billion. It surfaced only because a NASDAQ microcap held 5% and owed its investors a disclosure. Next, Alibaba previewed a 2.4 trillion parameter model in Shanghai and skipped the figure that sets your bill. Qwen 3.8 Max is its first multimodal model above 1 trillion, and Alibaba says it trails only Fable 5. It published no benchmarks, no open wait date, and no active parameter count. In a sparse model, only a fraction runs per query, so the headline total tells you almost nothing about cost. Then, SAP completed its acquisition of Germany's Prior Labs for more than 1 billion euros and pledged another billion over 4 years to build a European frontier AI lab. Prior Labs trains models on the rows and columns of business data rather than on chat. Its TabPN model was published in Nature and downloaded more than 3 million times. SAP says the lab stays independent, open, and publishing. In Britain, Andy Burnham is scrapping the digital ID scheme for all adults as one of his first acts in office. The Office for Budget Responsibility had costed it at about £1.8 billion. The scheme is gone, the obligation is not. Right-to-work checks stay mandatory for every employer, so identity verification is now permanently a private purchase rather than a state credential you were waiting for. Next, more than 60 App Store apps turned out to be weather and navigation tools. Everywhere except Brazil, where opening them from a Brazilian address reveals a betting platform instead. One of them reached the top of the weather category. Review happens from one location, and the app reads where you are before deciding what to be. Brazil's Ministry of Justice gave Apple and Google 5 days to explain. Apple raised prices 4 different ways at once. Music Family went from $16.99 to $19.99, a 17.7% rise, while Individual moved just 9.1%. UK student pricing did not move at all. German student pricing did, and the Apple One increase never left the United States, so European coverage quoting those figures is quoting dollars. Check your own market before you put a number in the budget. Alibaba's chip unit, T-Head, made its sales software stack free and open to developers worldwide, aiming straight at CUDA. Nvidia's real lock-in was never the silicon, it was the software layer that quietly ties most AI work to Nvidia hardware. When a credible rival stack opens, the moat that lets Nvidia set prices begins to erode. Read it as customer acquisition, though, not neutral portability. On the security side, CISA added a critical SharePoint server flaw to its exploited list with a federal patch deadline of 19 July. It scores 9.8 out of 10 and lets an unauthenticated attacker run code on the server. The harder part is that attackers are stealing the server's cryptographic machine keys during exploitation, so a patched box can still be re-entered with keys taken beforehand. Chip stocks closed more than 20% below their June peak, wiping roughly $2 trillion of market value. Your compute bill did not move. Goldman Sachs still models about $7.6 trillion of AI spending through 2031, and the index is still up more than 60% on the year. A falling share price hands you no leverage, so do not reopen a compute contract on the strength of a chart. And Brussels did not exempt your smartwatch battery. From February 2027, portable batteries must be replaceable, and the 6 categories the Commission carved out on 14 July still have to be replaceable by an independent professional. The duty moved, it did not vanish. The Act is not even in force yet, because Parliament and the Council still have to let it through without objection. That is your briefing. The full analysis on every story, in 10 languages, free at servola.de/journal. We will see you tomorrow.